So let's translate this process into a written form. We borrow the function in mathematics to write down the process. So in a big picture, the money object is the input, and the function machine, which is the restaurant that giving out the output as burger. So in mathematics, we can represent this process in a function f. Accept data, input data, and the output will be the result of this function. So we have an in here and output here. In a math function example, you see that if x equal to 3 as input, it goes to the function of x to the power of 2. So if the x is 3, we multiply 2 times, and it becomes 9 as the output. And then we're going to another function as another input to this function g. And when the 9 go into this function, it has to do is 9 plus 1. And the result of this function will be the output, and it become 10 as a result. So let's translate this written format from a math function into a programming language. And I put this side by side so you can understand how we translate the math functions into a programming convention, a written form. So in a programming convention, we write the data type name in front of a variable name. And it depending on the syntax of different programming language, it can be different. But it will describe what's the data type and what's the variable name. So in order to represent the input, the initial data that we're going to throw into the function, we designate integer as int space x equal to 3. This means that we initialize an integer data type with a variable name x. And how do we represent a function machine like this? We use called bracket to hold the function code block as shown here. So this function name is f, so we put function f. F will be the function name. And the input, what type of data you can input into this function, is an integer called x. And what this function is going to return me is that designated in front of this function. The function is going to return me a data type of integer. So when the integer 3 goes into the function, it goes to the power of 2, which is multiply itself, and we designate return. That means return of this whole function as a result, and the result will be 9. And this is a similar function. We went in as a 9, and then 9 plus 1 returned as 10 as a result. So this code block designate the whole function, just like the one on the left. So when we translate the math into the programming language format, this is very straightforward. And let's look at it closely with the equal sign. Is it means that same as in math? Let's look at it. In the functions, we have inputs, and then the output will be the results. And in a simple math question, 2 plus 3 equals something. In this case, it's 5. So let's watch the sequence of events. It doesn't look the same. In simple math, the result is on the right side of the equal sign, which is unknown. So you have 2 plus 3 first, then you have the result on the right. And when we look at the functions, we have the input first on the right hand side, and then output on the left hand side. And this is very different from math. This is because the equal sign in a programming language doesn't mean equal. It means kind of assigned to. What do you mean assigned to? Is that the whole thing on the right hand side is assigned to output. We will talk about more in the later lessons. But just keep in mind that the equal sign is not the same in math and the programming language.